Welcome to Home of Politics. Ladies and gentlemen, Uganda has officially announced that it will survive with or without the loans given by the Western countries, especially the World Bank loans and funds. On the official account of the President of Uganda, Honorable YOWERI KAGUTA MUSEVENI, he announced that Uganda are not even interested in borrowing loans that will jeopardize their values, standards, and culture. Ladies and gentlemen, Uganda will not allow to be coerced by the foreign nations only because they are benefiting from the funds that are being given by these countries. This has come to be announced because Uganda have been experiencing problems in terms of funds, and they have been in high ratio of depending to the Western countries, and the countries that are having hands to do with World Bank donations, funds and loans. These are countries like USA, and they are major suppliers of these funds. It came clearly that Uganda nation and the World Bank Corporation, they are not in good terms after YOWERI KAGUTA MUSEVENI signing a treaty earlier this year, May 2023, declaring that the Anti-Homosexuality Act to be provided with penalties, as high penalty as death sentence, and that one right now it is a law in Uganda. Whenever this homosexuality case can be found, then the charges are death sentence, and therefore it means they do not entertain any form of unnatural things that are going against the natural form of sexuality as the way it is supposed to be. According to the values and the standards of Uganda, they are therefore willing to stand with the truth, preservation of their faith, preservation of their cultures, moral standards, and if the funding or the loans will be the one or will be the factors that will lead Uganda to be introduced to things to do with the LGBTQ or LGBTI communities, then this should be the end. And initially Uganda have been benefiting from World Bank, but right now World Bank has stopped any form of funding until the Ugandans accept or protect to include the rights of the homosexuality thing in their constitution. Ladies and gentlemen, this one is not things to be taken in a light notice, because we have been seeing most of the African nations have been manipulated to follow the culture of the Western nations only because they are depending on these foreigners for donations. Maybe in terms of natural calamities that are experienced in our continent, maybe hunger, war, we also have things to do with diseases. For example, the previous one was corona, and we all were depending with the medicine and the drugs from these Western countries. Now the advantages we are benefiting from them, yes, but these donations, these loans, these funds are coming with a lot of tough conditions, and this is one of the conditions that has made Uganda to declare to survive without the help of these loans if it comes to undermining their culture, their standards, and their values as a nation. My good people, YOWERI KAGUTA MUSEVENI is even someone who is very straightforward, and to him He's not looking for greed of money. He's not looking for personal interest of maybe as he is in power. What can he benefit from these NGOs and other foreign organizations that can bring in benefit in Uganda? But he is fighting for the future of the nation. The thing to do with the gender issues, it is a problem all over the continent, and most of the countries are giving in, whereby the constitutions are amended. Some of the laws are being introduced only to favor the conditions or the requirements of these funding nations in order for them to acquire the support from the Western countries, without knowing the implications that are being brought now and in future. For instance, when we look at these requirements that had been given to Uganda about the protection and implementation of this Homosexuality Act, these are the things that originated with the whites, and as Africans, the culture forbids, even the moral standards of the societies forbids, and it is a thing that is new, and it is a choice of the society to choose whether to accept it or not. Ladies and gentlemen, as much as we are also needy, we are poor, our countries are having problems and we need help, to some extent African nations should set their standards so that they cannot be manipulated anyhow, because they are vulnerable. They need help from the Western countries. My good people, we see one of the values, core values, and the vision of these World Bank Cooperation Society that are giving out the loans to these nations. It is to enhance equality, to avoid discrimination, to eradicate poverty, and also to create a better future. From their argument, they say the marginalized people in the society, including gender-based discrimination, are being experienced by individuals and even groups or organizations. For instance, the gays, the lesbians, and the transgenders, name them. They are among the marginalized groups in the societies and are being discriminated from accessing things that can bring success to a nation. And as for the World Bank, they include all these people. And one way of avoiding discrimination or promoting the equality, it is by formulation of the Homosexuality Act, protection, implementing, and giving them a platform whereby they can express themselves in a fair way. Whenever they go to court, they can be listened, they can even be given funds so that they can develop as their own, as an existing group without discrimination. And for Uganda, this one also a no. Ladies and gentlemen, if I may ask, is Kenya being funded by World Bank or receiving any form of support? Of course, yes. Kenyans, we are funded. For instance, the project of Vision 2030, it is being funded by World Bank in order to realize the development of our country, in order to promote equality and to eradicate poverty. And do you think our constitution has put in place enough laws or to protect the vulnerable people in the society? Or has the Constitution of Kenya provided has the Constitution of Kenya provided or protected the humanity in a way that we can also not be manipulated by these values of the World Bank Society? For instance, if they are supporting us, do you think they can give us conditions also to introduce that law as an act in Kenya, so that LGBTQI or LGBTQ can also be a normal thing in Kenya. Thank you so much for watching, but for now, at least, these leaders should be very careful before signing treaties with these foreign countries, Western nations. As much as we need donations and support, the leaders should also look at the future and the impact that these funds are bringing to our nations. Otherwise, send me your opinions in the comment section. Have a good day.